That's probably one of the most overlooked things that we see.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
You're listening to Saving with Silverman with the one and only Mark Silverman of Silverman & Associates. Mark, of course, offers the True Wealth process, and that begins with a 15 to 20-minute introductory phone call. You can get it by calling 520-333-7601. That is 520-333-7601. You can call or text. Because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life. That's why you need to have a conversation with Mark Silverman. Again, that number is 520-333-7601. Mark, let's talk about the final decade. So important. The final decade in your working life is a very important one from a retirement planning perspective. And let's discuss some of the things that you want to be sure you address during that 10-year period. First of all, and I know I've heard you say this many times, you need to decide what's important. And what's important to you may be completely different from what's important to somebody else.
You're absolutely right, Ron. And one of the things I'll preface is retirement means different things to different people. Some people vision retirement where they actually stop working and they're done working and they're retired. Some people may never retire. They might slow down or maybe do something different, but they have no envision of ever stopping working completely. So, and there's no right or wrong. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's goal and vision is different. And like I said, that's perfectly fine. But what we need to understand is what's important. And everybody's situation is different. Everybody has different goals and values. And it's understanding what those are so we can make the right decisions to get you in the place that you want to be so you have greater financial satisfaction and well-being. And that's really what the important thing is. And again, as I said before, there's no right or wrong answer. Once we just determine those sorts of things, we can make a plan to help you get there. It's going from point A to point B, and everybody's got a different journey and different vision. So it's understanding what those are so we can get you on the right path.
But again, the first thing you need to do is make a decision about what kind of things you want to do in your retirement, what is important to you, what kind of lifestyle you want to live. And it may be different from everybody else you know because everybody's situation is unique. Another thing that's on the checklist here for the final decade of your time in the workplace is knowing your numbers. And Mark, I can't really overestimate the importance of knowing what your numbers are.
That's exactly right. And, we do financial life planning for clients that are already retired, and it's a little bit easier as far as the numbers because we know what you're spending and you're already retired. So that can help, and we can let you know if you're spending too much or if you're at risk of running out of money. When we're doing this for people who aren't currently retired, it's a little more challenging because you don't know what you're going to spend in retirement. Studies say that you're going to spend 70 to 80% of your working income in retirement. I'd say that's probably true if you have a mortgage and the house is paid off. There's the 20-30% that you're spending on a mortgage that you're no longer spending. But what I seem to believe and what I've seen practice is most people spend about the same in retirement as they did in their working years. In fact, we've seen some people spend more because you have more time and you're going to be traveling or whatever it is you might be doing. So, it's really hard to envision that, and understanding what your spending plan is, or some people call it a budget, is really the key to understand how we can run these projections and see if you're going to have, a 20, 30, 40-year retirement, to make sure you're not going to run out of money and you're going to be able to do those things in retirement that you've set out to do and not worrying that you're going to run out of money. So understanding what your number is really the key element in understanding and running those projections to make sure that you're going to have enough money to do, again, what it is that you want to do.
You're listening to Saving with Silverman with Mark Silverman of Silverman & Associates. If you're in Tucson, great. Thanks for being with us. Wherever you are in southern Arizona, thanks very much. You can go to Mark's website if you like. Go to savingwithsilverman.com. That is savingwithsilverman.com. Right now, we're talking about the final decade of your working life before you retire, and it's so important to also to decide what's important to you, but also knowing your numbers is important. And one thing that everybody needs to do is to have a good estimate of what your income streams are going to be coming in. It's so important to know what kind of income is being generated by that money that you put aside and is into your retirement plan.
Absolutely. So, one of the ones obviously that most people have are Social Security. That's most people's pension. That's the only pension that they really have. So it's trying to maximize that. And we have software that we can use that we can help project and plan and show you what's the best way to maximize that. Obviously, the one caveat to that is life expectancy. And I can tell you when we run these numbers for most people, if your life expectancy, if you live past 81 to age 82, your best bet, if you can do it, is to defer Social Security to age 70, because remember, you get an 8% guarantee per year until age 70. 70, it maxes out. So you want to take it at 70 at the latest. But, depending on your life expectancy, your health, et cetera, we can run those numbers and show you what's the best way to do that. The other things are pensions. We don't see too many people with those. If you've been with the company a long time, you might have a pension. If you work for the government, something like that, you might have a pension. Most people don't have pensions, unfortunately. Annuities, some annuities can work that way and give you that guaranteed income. We can talk about those. If you have rental income, what does that look like? Obviously, that doesn't stay forever. And if you have a renter move out, that income can go away, or that sort of thing if you decide to sell those properties. Part-time work, a lot of people retire, like I mentioned before, but end up going back to work maybe as a consultant, or maybe doing something completely different, or just, doing something to occupy their time. We can include that into your plan as well. And then how much you're going to pull from your investments. What's the best way to do that? Which account should you be pulling from to be tax efficient? That sort of thing. We can help with that. But making sure you have enough income that's going to last you and your spouse the rest of your life without being a burden to your kids or whoever it might be. So just making sure that you have all your ducks in a row is very, very important.
Well, one thing, Mark, that most people don't like to talk about and don't even like to think about is health care. We all know that health care costs are rising, and that is something that can absolutely devastate a retirement plan for just about anybody, particularly when you get into the area of long-term care. And again, people don't like to think about that. But getting a handle on health care is essential for a successful retirement.
That's probably one of the most overlooked things that we see, because, if people are even doing it right, where they're paying off the mortgage, maybe it's paid off now, or maybe it's going to be paid off by the time you retire. What they don't anticipate is what healthcare is going to look like if them or their spouse are not working and they can't get on their company plan, and they have to actually go out and get healthcare, and they're not 65, so Medicare is not even available yet. That could be like a mortgage payment. What I tell people is be ready to pay more and get less. That's kind of what unfortunately the situation we're in with healthcare. Obviously, it's an election year. Who knows what's going to happen? They haven't been able to fix it yet. We'll see what happens with that, but that's an unknown, and that's going to be a year by year thing. But understanding what Medicare does cover, if you're lucky enough to be on Medicare, what it covers and what it doesn't cover, and understanding that. And also looking at, you mentioned long-term care. There's different ways of doing it. Obviously, there's traditional long-term care, which is out there. I don't think that's always the best way to handle it. You can self-insure, that's an option, but there's also some other options with some hybrid life insurance policies that are out there now that can cover long-term expenses. I tend to like these options more so than I do others, but you got to be healthy enough to be insured, and et cetera, and understand what that costs. But that's just another way to leverage your money to cover those kind of costs. So those are other discussions that we would have as part of our True Wealth financial planning process.
And, the long-term care thing is something that can really wipe out your savings in a hurry. So, most people aren't really prepared for that and don't want to talk about it, as I mentioned before, but that's something that you need to take care of for sure. And Mark Silverman can help you do that. And another thing is just the ability to be flexible in your thinking and to understand that your needs are going to change over time. And we're talking about, inflation and all those sorts of things in there, but your particular needs and the way you live is that's all going to change too during your retirement years.
You're absolutely right. When we do financial planning for people, it's an ongoing process. It's not like somebody does a plan for you and you take the plan and you're done. It's an ongoing process. The plan needs to be updated as situations change. The markets change. We update those. But people's situations change. We need to update those depending on our client's situation changes. Maybe there's a health concern. Maybe somebody unfortunately passes away. Maybe somebody inherits some money. All these different things can change your plan, and the plan needs to be updated with this new information. We give you advice based to make the best decisions you can with what we know today. That doesn't mean that things aren't going to change tomorrow. The one thing that we do know is change is going to happen. So understanding that expenses can change, how much you're going to need, inflation. There's lots of different things that are out there that we need to take in consideration. Maybe you might be spending more in retirement. Maybe you might be spending less. All these different factors are going to impact your financial plan, and we need to update that and making sure that we're giving you the right advice to make sure that you're doing the right things going forward.
Mark, I'm sure that there are people listening to this conversation right now who may have been maybe an eyebrow or two up because you've mentioned something that they hadn't really thought about and might want to have that conversation with you, that introductory, get acquainted conversation on the phone. And what happens when they make the phone call to the number that I'm going to give out here in just a moment?
We will schedule a complimentary, 15 to 20 minute phone call with me, where we will discuss your situation as well as how we work, our philosophy, our true wealth financial planning process, to see if it's a good fit for what it is that you're looking for. As I tell people, we're not a fit for everybody, but the only way we know that is having a conversation. So this is your chance to have a conversation with me to determine that and answer some questions that you might have about your situation as well as our firm, and making sure that we can do the best job for you as possible.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601. Or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.